inspired by a dream. That dream is now a reality. Our goal at Game Day Media is to provide a new way of watching high school sporting events in Northwest North Dakota through live audio video streaming services. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch and listen to all the action. We are looking for business sponsors to come on board with Game Day Media to help promote your business as we help to promote our area athletes during our broadcasts. Contact David or Randy Peterson for further details on how you can become a sponsor on Game Day Media. Game Day Media, more than a game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another day of baseball here on Game Day Media. I'm Carter Longi, joined today by my color commentator, David Peterson, also one of the co-founders here at Game Day Media. Welcome into the NCC Sports Desk. And we thank the NCC for connecting us here at Game Day Media to you, the listener, for great coverage all year long of Northwest North Dakota high school sports action. We're here at Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field today for a triangular between the Ray Post 9, the Crosby Cubs, and the Tioga Post 139 Patriots. First up at 6 p.m., we're going to have the Crosby Cubs taking on Ray Post 9, followed by the Crosby Cubs versus the Tioga Patriots, and finally wrapping up with a continuation of a game that was initially suspended due to rain between the Tioga Patriots and the Ray Post 9, and that was delayed about a couple weeks ago now, back in Tioga, and that should be a good game as well, as I believe it was either a one-run game or a tie game when we left off, so that'll be a good place to pick up as well. But first up, we're going to have, as I mentioned, Ray Post 9 versus the Crosby Cubs. I believe Crosby might be the home team. They're taking the field second, so I believe they're going to be home. It's a little bit different, even though we're at Ray. It's going to be Crosby out there in the field first, I believe. But thank you for tuning in today. We're going to take a quick break. We'll get our national anthem in. We'll get a couple commercial breaks in from our great sponsors, and then we'll be back with our Bank of Tioga starting lineups here in a couple minutes on Game Day Media.
Born and raised amidst the small-town love of Northwest North Dakota, we at Northwest Communications Cooperative understand the joy of being part of a great community. That's why we choose to pour back into the people who pour into us. At NCC, we offer internet, telephone, video, and security services that are industry standard, top of the line. Based in Ray, North Dakota, we consider Northwest North Dakota our neighborhood. Let us know how we can serve you. Local, fast, reliable. Making connections, locally committed.
Since 1961, Tioga Medical Center has been providing quality health care to Northwest North Dakota patients. With a newly built clinic in Tioga, where primary care providers along with visiting specialists are caring for patients every day. Primary care clinics in Ray and Powers Lake also. Call for an appointment today at 701-664-3368. Tioga Medical Center. Great staff making a difference in the lives of patients every day.
The Bank of Tioga,
with locations in Tioga and Crosby, North Dakota. Come and talk to us about all your financial needs. Whether it's agriculture, business, investments, or personal banking, we have the right product for you. Call our Tioga Bank at 701-664-3388 or our Crosby Bank at 701-965-6333 to discuss your needs with us. Ignite prosperity at the Bank of Tioga. As your local Ace Hardware, our store is a member of the largest retailer-owned hardware cooperative in the industry. Ace Hardware began as a small chain of stores in 1924 and has grown to include more than 4,600 stores in 50 states and more than 70 countries. As part of a cooperative, every Ace Hardware store is independently owned, from neighborhood Ace Hardware stores to lumberyards to supersized home centers. Each Ace Hardware is unique and tailored to meet the needs of its local community. We are all committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products. As the helpful hardware folks in your community, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop on down to 119 North May Street, Tioga, North Dakota, or call them at 701-664-3309. Tioga Ace Hardware, helping you get things done.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back in here to Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field here in North Dakota for another American Legion baseball matchup. It'll actually be a triangular today. We have two games on hand. First up will be Ray Post 9 versus the Crosby Cubs, and that one will be followed up by Crosby taking the field once again, that time to face the Tioga Patriots. And then finally, the third game of triangular will feature the Ray Post 9 and the Tioga Post 139 Patriots facing off in a resumed game from suspension from a couple weeks ago right here on Game Day Media. A big shout out to all of our sponsors that make the games right here at Game Day Media possible. NCC Sports Desks that are sponsoring us right here, the Tioga Medical Center Scoreboard, the Bank of Tioga, which is going to present our starting lineups here in just a moment, Tioga Ace Hardware, which is going to be our sponsor for today's in-game scoring, Nessa Consulting Services, Tioga Parts Supply, Roustabout Service and Insulating, and Game One. So a big thank you to all of our sponsors there for helping us out. Also, make sure to subscribe to Game Day Media ND on YouTube, and also like Game Day Media on Facebook. Check us out there so you can stay up to date on all things that are happening here at Game Day Media. Also, if you would like to become a sponsor at Game Day Media, make sure you reach out to either Randy or David Peterson and help them continue to put on our Northwest North Dakota high school sports, and also featuring some of the athletes from this area and help them out along the way as well. Now let's get ready to go here with our Bank of Tioga starting lineups. First up for the visiting Ray Post 9, even though we're right here in Ray. Leading things off is going to be number 1, Carter Hartsock. He'll be at shortstop. Batting second, wearing number 9, will be Luke Olson, the catcher. Batting third, wearing number 10, will be Connor Heldy. He'll be in left field. Batting fourth, wearing number 21, will be Evan Heldy. He'll be pitching today. Batting fifth, number 12, Braden Johnson, will be at first base. Batting sixth, number 3, Chase Coonsey, will be in center field. Batting seventh will be number 0, Colton Grove. He'll be at second base. Batting eighth will be number 5, Garrett Donnelly. He'll be at third base. And finally, batting ninth will be number 20, Caleb Luce, and he'll be in right field. The Ray Post 9 are coached by Joey Heldy and Victor Luce. Now for the home team on the scoreboard, the Crosby Cubs. First up, it will be number 10, Isaiah Rindell. He'll be in center field today for the Cubs. Batting second, wearing number 24, will be Tate Hagano. He'll be at third base. Batting third, wearing number 23, will be Easton Eriksmoen. He'll be at shortstop today. Batting fourth in that cleanup spot will be number 2, Damon Bowling. He'll be catching. Batting fifth, number 27, Peyton Kostad, will be in right field. Batting sixth, number 1, Landon Hubble, will be pitching today. Batting seventh, number 9, Peyton Hanisch, will be in left field. Batting eighth will be number 7, Kyle Knutson. He'll be the designated hitter. And batting ninth will be number 8, Ryan Fennell. He'll be at first base. And then also we will mention that number 20, Jacob Rystad, will be at second base. And Knutson is going to be the DH for him. So we won't see him at the plate today, but he will be out there in the field. The Cubs are coached by Isaac Eriksmoen. And just as I say that, it looks like the color guard for the American Legion is getting ready to present the colors here at Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field. So we're going to step away for another quick break and get you ready to go for first pitch right here on Game Day Media.
Inspired by a dream. That dream is now a reality. Our goal at Game Day Media is to provide a new way of watching high school sporting events in Northwest North Dakota through live audio video streaming services. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch and listen to all the action. We are looking for business sponsors to come on board with Game Day Media to help promote your business as we help to promote our area athletes during our broadcasts. Contact David or Randy Peterson for further details on how you can become a sponsor on Game Day Media. Game Day Media, more than a game.
Born and raised amidst the small-town love of Northwest North Dakota, we at Northwest Communications Cooperative understand the joy of being part of a great community. That's why we choose to pour back into the people who pour into us. At NCC, we offer internet, telephone, video, and security services that are industry standard, top of the line. Based in Ray, North Dakota, we consider Northwest North Dakota our neighborhood. Let us know how we can serve you. Local, fast, reliable. Making connections, locally committed.
Since 1961, Tioga Medical Center has been providing quality health care to Northwest North Dakota patients. With a newly built clinic in Tioga, where primary care providers along with visiting specialists are caring for patients every day. Primary care clinics in Ray and Powers Lake also. Call for an appointment today at 701-664-3368. Tioga Medical Center. Great staff making a difference in the lives of patients every day.
As your local Ace Hardware, our store is a member of the largest retailer-owned hardware cooperative in the industry. Ace Hardware began as a small chain of stores in 1924 and has grown to include more than 4,600 stores in 50 states and more than 70 countries. As part of a cooperative, every Ace Hardware store is independently owned, from neighborhood Ace Hardware stores to lumberyards to supersized home centers. Each Ace Hardware is unique and tailored to meet the needs of its local community. We are all committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products. As the helpful hardware folks in your community, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop on down to 119 North May Street, Tioga, North Dakota, or call them at 701-664-3309. Tioga Ace Hardware, helping you get things done. At Game Day Media, we are dedicated to promoting local athletes and local sports that captivate and inspire our North Dakota fan base. Our mission is to create unforgettable moments, connect people through shared experiences, and foster a sense of community. We strive to bring excitement and joy to enthusiasts while promoting values of teamwork, dedication, and fair play. Your sponsorship of Premier, Elite, and Diamond level packages will enable us to enhance the quality of our productions, expand our reach, and provide unparalleled coverage of various sporting activities and events. Your commitment to our cause has helped us invest in state-of-the-art equipment and improve the overall experience for our viewers and participants. If interested, please contact Randy Peterson at 701-641-1271 or David Peterson at 701-641-6030. Thank you for supporting Game Day Media by promoting and supporting high school athletics across Northwest North Dakota.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of Game Day Media, LLP, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent by Game Day Media, LLP.
Here we go. Welcome back to Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field here in Ray, North Dakota. Once again, I'm Carter Longi, joined today by David Peterson for another edition of American Legion Baseball here on Game Day Media. Once again, we have a triangular on hand today. First up, we're going to have Ray Post 9 versus the Crosby Cubs. Ray will be the home team. I misspoke there in the pregame. I thought, by the way they were warming up, it would have been Crosby, but it is going to be Ray. And so they're out here taking the field and getting ready to go. Once again, on the mound for them today is going to be Evan Heldy. And so we'll see what he can do today out there on the mound. Let's take a quick look at some of the batting stats for the Crosby Cubs as we get ready to go here for game number 1 in today's triangular. The 4-hole hitter will be Damon Bowling, and a couple of notes about him. He has 1 home run on the season, the lone home run, on the season for the Crosby Cubs. Also leads the team with 14 RBIs on the year. Another person worth mentioning is going to be Easton Eriksmoen. Eriksmoen leads the team with 4 doubles so far this year. He's also taken quite a few pitches. He's been hit by 5 pitches so far on the season. Also worth noting is Tate Hagano. Hagano so far 14 hits on the year, which is tied for the team lead, and also has the one of the 2 triples that this team has picked up so far in the year. So that's some of the kind of the batting stats to look out for today as the Crosby Cubs take the plate here. Another thing to mention is Thane Costin, who is their leading batter in both batting average and tied for the lead in hits, is not going to be in the lineup for this first game. He also leads the team in stolen bases and walks as well with 13 stolen bases, and has also picked up 7 walks on the year. So big piece there that they're missing at the plate. I'm not sure if maybe he's out of town or if we'll see him later today. We don't have him in the subs, so I'm going to have to assume that he's probably not here. But that's probably going to be something to watch out for here for Crosby as we move forward. Also, our umpires for today's matchup are going to be Mike Cushman. He'll be behind the plate, and Lloyd Mosley will be out in the field, and then those two will switch on and off as we go throughout today's games. So both those guys will be in both spots helping us out today. So big thank you to both of our umpires today, because without them, we can't play. So it's a good thing that we got umpires on hand. They're not the easiest to find, and they don't have the easiest job, as I'm sure anybody who's ever done it before knows, because there's plenty of people back behind the fence that probably think they can do a little bit better job than they probably realize how hard it is to do sometimes.
It is a tough job, Carter. You mentioned it. It's very short. If you're interested in becoming an official, an umpire, referee, whatever the case may be, reach out to anybody in the admin between the schools of the market areas that we broadcast for, between Ray, Divide County, Stanley, Kenmare, Powers Lake, Tioga. Get a hold of one of the administrators. It's a good group to be a part of. It's a good brotherhood. It's your way to connect and be still involved in local athletics. And like you said, this isn't going to happen if there is no umpires or officials for the game. So make sure you reach out to these guys. It's a lot of work putting it in. It's a lot of scheduling, a lot of testing, flexibility. Just make sure you get in and get involved with area athletics.
Yeah, and then also while we're kind of waiting here for Heldy to get warmed up on the mound there, we can kind of talk about, we also got coming up here, speaking of local youth athletics, we've got the coach pitch tourney for youth baseball coming up here on Monday in Kenmare, and so that's the 8 to 10 range, and that's going to, as I mentioned, over in Kenmare. So Powers Lake, Kenmare, a couple Stanley teams, Crosby, Tioga, and Ray will all be in action over there in Kenmare. So that's another little event to look forward to here as we move forward. And then also, again, the district tournament for the Legion tournament will be held in Burlington, and that'll be July 17th through the 20th. So if you want to take in some good Legion baseball, head over to Burlington as well for that tournament coming up here in about a couple weeks or so as well. We're about ready to go here now from Ray, and stepping into the box for the first time tonight is going to be number 10, Isaiah Rindell, the center fielder. He's going to settle in, and now Heldy will prepare to deliver our first pitch today. First pitch going to be swung on and missed by Rindell, so an 0-1 count here to start out for the first Cub at the plate.
It's a beautiful field here in Ray, over at the Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field. They just redid the grandstand maybe 3-4 years ago. It still sits on Highway 2 as truck traffic is going to come through the area, but a lot of horns blast. And then what I think I'm most looking forward to tonight is when it gets to be nighttime and all these kids get to play under the lights. You know, something that's most of these kids maybe don't get to experience a whole lot of during their high school and Legion baseball careers. But the way they have it set up here in Ray, it dubs as a...
Rendell puts one into play at the shortstop Hartsock. He bobbles for a moment, but is able to collect and make the throw, and it's going to be out number 1. So Isaiah Rendell unable to reach base successfully there as Hartsock puts him out. Nice job of keeping his body in front of it and just knocking it down and making the play over to his first baseman Johnson there.
Yeah, this place dubs as a football field for the RPL Outlaws, a very successful co-op between Ray and Powers Lake, kind of become a perennial power in the 9-man ranks the last 5-6 years. Graduated some kids. Now they've gone into their second season as the RPL Outlaws in 11-man single A football. So look forward to the Outlaws playing this season here in Ray and up in Powers Lake.
At the plate now for the Crosby Cubs going to be number 24, Tate Hagano. Hagano pretty efficient so far this year for the Cubs. He bats .400, and as we mentioned as well in the pregame, tied for the team lead with 14 hits. So we'll see if maybe he can get something going here for the Cubs to help get a guy on base here and just get the bats going a little bit. Once again, there's one out, nobody on for the Crosby Cubs, and this pitch can be way inside. I think the count might be 3-1. We're quite a ways out today, so it's kind of tough to see the umpires' signalings, but I believe it's probably a 3-1 count right now. That one swung on and fouled off, and that should make the count full, if my count is correct.
So the colors today were presented by the William E. Smith Post 9 out of Ray, North Dakota. The first pitch was being thrown by Corey Moen. Corey Moen is the past state VFW commander and is the current VFW Honor Society commander. So big thanks to Mr. Corey Moen for throwing out the first pitch here today at the Ray Triangular for the American Legion Triangular here in Ray.
So that was a walk there picked up by Hagano, so he is safely on to first base, and that is the 10th time this year that Hagano has walked. Team lead there for the Cubs, so leads the team in hits and walks, so one way or another, Hagano, oh my gosh, finds a way to get on base.
I think it's Haugano.
That's why I kept stumbling. I know this isn't right, and I was trying to figure out the way to say it. And I thought if I said it wrongly enough times, I could maybe find it, but I just couldn't.
Yeah, as we are live streaming here on Game Day Media, make sure you tune in, subscribe, and enable all the alerts. And go ahead and correct us. Put something in the comments. If we're not saying the name right, just let us know. Tune in. We can see the post. We can see the subscribers and viewers that are going on as Hartsock gets into a potential double play.
So Easton Eriksmoen hits one right at Carter Hartsock, and he is able to put Haugano out at second. And Eriksmoen able to stay at first safely as Grove wasn't able to quite turn it in time. Kind of a little bit awkward there with the slide into second there, so decides to just hold on to it. It probably turns out to be the right move.
Yeah, with Eriksmoen's speed, he's able to beat that out. I think that would be a bang-bang play for Carter Hartsock playing the shortstop position. You know, I've seen a lot of football that Easton Eriksmoen has played. I believe he's one of the goalies for the Crosby Comets. Is that what they are
right.
in hockey up in Crosby? A very good Crosby hockey team.
At the plate now for the Cubs is Damon Bowling as Eriksmoen steals second, just as David was talking about that speed. And so he picks up a stolen bag there, and Bowling, I believe, took a strike there. So I think it's 0-1 here to Damon Bowling. Runner on second and 2 outs now for the Cubs.
You know, a couple years ago, we were broadcasting. Lane Carabello was the quarterback the prior year to this, and Easton Eriksmoen was the then quarterback. His one's driven hard into right field.
And Eriksmoen's going to come around and score our first Ace Hardware run of the day, as that's going to put the Cubs up 1-0 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. Putting that one into play, as we mentioned before, was Damon Bowling, so a nice little RBI single for him. And a little bit of trouble out there and right by Luce, kind of getting a handle on it, so Eriksmoen was able to come in to score pretty easily.
So anyway, we were broadcasting up in Crosby, and Lane Carabello was the quarterback the year prior, and Easton Eriksmoen come on, and Lane Carabello was playing tight end. There's one down in the dirt as he's taken off to second base.
And so that's Bowling able to get in his second safely. Could have been close to disaster there for Ray as the throw from Olsen down from catcher from behind the plates hit the bag, and luckily for Ray went more up rather than out. So Bowling holds the up there at second.
So Easton Eriksmo's a quarterback for the Divide County Maroons. I was kind of wondering, why would you get rid of an all-region quarterback, 6'5", and then he absolutely put on a game for himself. The game that we were broadcasting up in Crosby, and I was like, that is an excellent coaching move. The ability that he has to be able to run their wingback option that Crosby Divide County Maroons can run in their power I formations is a thing of beauty. He was able to go all over the place. Tough kid, not afraid of putting his nose in the dirt, and it was fun. It was fun to watch, and definitely a right move by Coach Nate Nelson and head coach Bob Brown, the two co-head coaches up in Crosby.
Yeah, and even though Carabello, solid option at quarterback as well, probably wasn't the worst move because, as you mentioned, Carabello 6'5", probably not the worst guy to have tight end either.
Yeah, which I believe he's now Lane Carabello is now playing football down at UMary for the Marauders. So I'd imagine you probably fill out in a 6'5" frame as a high school kid. You probably look like a pretty big a brick house going into your sophomore season of college football.
At the plate now for the Crosby Cubs is number 27, Peyton Kostad. Kostad, the right fielder. So going to be up high from Heldy. Once again, over on second is Damon Bowling, the catcher, after his single and a stolen base. I believe the count's 2-2 here on Kostad. This one down in the dirt, so that should move it to a full count. Heldy now comes set. Here's the payoff pitch. It's going to be inside for ball number 4, and Peyton Kostad will take first base for free. So a couple of runners on now for Crosby. Once again, 2 outs, and coming to the plate, number 1, Landon Hubble, and Hubble will be on the mound today for the Cubs once they take the field.
Heldy want to try to get out of here with minimal damage in the top of the first inning. Guys running around the bases, getting some hits. He's going to have to rely on his defense. The ground ball's got to get over to the bases to make outs to get out of the inning before any more damage occurs.
Heldy does deliver a first pitch strike to Hubble right there, so 0-1's the count. Pitch number 2 swung on and put into play deep into left field, and tracking back was Connor Heldy, and it's over his head off the fence, and coming home to score is Bowling. Rounding third and headed for home as well as Peyton Kostad, and that's going to be a stand-up double for Landon Hubble as he just barely got over the head of Heldy. We had a pretty good look at it back here, but nonetheless, it scores 2 Ace Hardware runs for the Crosby Cubs, and just like that, they find themselves up 3-0 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard.
Yeah, just nice driven ball out to left center field, just barely over the outstretched arms of Connor Heldy. Maybe playing a little shallow, but looks like there's a pinch runner coming into play here with 2 outs.
Can't quite see the number on it yet, but again, that's Hubble, the pitcher, that's going to get the pinch runner. And turns his back to us, and that's going to be number 17, Marcus Shaw, into pinch run for Hubble. At the plate, it's number 9, Peyton Hanisch, the left fielder. Now taking off for third is Shaw, as that one got away from the catcher Olsen back behind the plate. So runner on third, still 2 outs here. The first 2 batters taken care of for the Cubs. One was a fielder's choice, of course, but since then we've had 3 batters score, and a number 4 stands on third base, as this one's going to be put into play at the shortstop Hartsock, and no more damage is done as Carter Hartsock's able to make the play over to the first baseman Johnson, and that's going to be the 3rd out here in the top of the first inning. So after the top of the first, as we head to the bottom of 1, our score is 3-0 in favor of the Crosby Cubs over Ray Post 9. I'm Carter Longi here with David Peterson on Game Day Media. We'll be right back.
Born and raised amidst the small-town love of Northwest North Dakota, we at Northwest Communications Cooperative understand the joy of being part of a great community. That's why we choose to pour back into the people who pour into us. At NCC, we offer internet, telephone, video, and security services that are industry standard, top of the line. Based in Ray, North Dakota, we consider Northwest North Dakota our neighborhood. Let us know how we can serve you. Local, fast, reliable. Making connections, locally committed.
Since 1961, Tioga Medical Center has been providing quality health care to Northwest North Dakota patients. With a newly built clinic in Tioga, where primary care providers along with visiting specialists are caring for patients every day. Primary care clinics in Ray and Powers Lake also. Call for an appointment today at 701-664-3368. Tioga Medical Center. Great staff making a difference in the lives of patients every day.
The Bank of Tioga, with locations in Tioga and Crosby, North Dakota. Come and talk to us about all your financial needs. Whether it's agriculture, business, investments, or personal banking, we have the right product for you. Call our Tioga Bank at 701-664-3388 or our Crosby Bank at 701-965-6333 to discuss your needs with us. Ignite prosperity at the Bank of Tioga.
Welcome back to Glen E. Severson Memorial Field. Once again, I'm Carter Longy here with my color commentator and co-founder of Game Day Media, David Peterson. We are here at the NCC Sports Desk. Big thank you to NCC for connecting us here at Game Day Media in the press box to you, the listener, so that we can bring you all great action all season long, all year long of high school sports in Northwest North Dakota. Once again, we're here for a American Legion triangular between the Ray Post 9 Crosby Cubs and the Tioga Post 139 Patriots. And right now we are in game number 1 between Post 9 and the Cubs. And so now taking to the batter's box for the first time tonight is going to be Ray Post 9. First one up will be number 1, Carter Hartsock, the shortstop. And first pitch here is going to be swung on and missed by Hartsock. So 0-1 the count here to start out. Once again on the mound for the Crosby Cubs is going to be number 1, Landon Hubble. Hubble delivers and picks up another swing and miss out of Carter Hartsock. So 0-2 early on here for Hartsock. This one swung on, put into play, and making the leaping grab for the Crosby Cubs is Easton Eriksmoen. So Eriksmoen, you got quite a bit of praise there in the top of the first inning about his athleticism, and he shows it off once again right there as he makes the diving grab on that line drive from Carter Hartsock for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first inning. Once again, our score 3-0 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard in favor of the Crosby Cubs, as this one's popped up on the first base line and trying to make a diving grab unsuccessfully was Fennell. Fennell. But not quite, as Luke Olson safe for now. Once again, Luke Olson wears number 9. He's the catcher today for Ray Post 9. 0-1 count on him to start things out. Hubble now delivers. This one's going to be just a little bit high to Luke Olson. Going to make our count 1 ball and 1 strike. Luke Olson has a home run on the year, bats .308 for his average. Also, once he gets on the bags, he does some damage with 6 stolen bases so far in the year. This one looks to be low and away. Makes it a 2 ball, 1 strike count. This one put into play and gets through the gap for Luke Olson out into left field. And he's going to have an easy single there to get Ray going with the bats. And so man on first now for Post 9. 1 out, and coming to the plate, number 10, Connor Heldy, the left fielder.
That was a hard hit ball. You know, Luke Olson, he's got some pop to it. He did hit an over the fence home run just a couple weeks ago. I think it was here in Ray, which is pretty deep. Just looking at the fences, they have a marker over in right field somewhere, but it's got to be 300 plus feet. I do believe it was in Ray, and it was a no-doubter over the fence for him. So he's got a lot of power, played a lot of baseball, played a lot of basketball, football for the Outlaws, for the Ray Jays. You know, kind of nice rounded athlete for the Ray Jays here in Ray, North Dakota.
Also worth noting, the wind is kind of blowing out to left field today, so the righties, if they're able to put a good swing on it, should get some help as well from that. Olson now taking off for second base. It's going to be close here, and they're going to call him safe. Bold move there, probably going feet first on the slide. he goes hands first, I think he probably has, a little bit more room for comfort, but ends up being safe either way. So Luke Olson picks up his 7th stolen base of the year.
One of the stats that I saw that was pretty incredible was that Ray hasn't been picked off as a ball's hit over to the second baseman for should be routine play.
Heldy grounds out there, out number 2, and Olson, though, will move over from second to third. So runner in good scoring position here for number 21, Evan Heldy, the pitcher today as he comes to the plate.
As we were prepping for the game, I got all the big thanks to Joey Heldy and Isaac Ellingson for sending over their stats. Our job here at Game Day Media is to promote the athletes, promote everything local. High school kids, they need a lot of credit. They need a lot of plugging that we can do for them. But they haven't been thrown out all season. I think they're 100% in the stolen base sector of the baseball stat world. But maybe comes to that Luke Olson maybe knows when people are taking off, having a bird's eye view of being catcher all the time for the Jays.
This one outside to Evan Heldy is going to be ball number 2. 2-0 the count here to the pitcher.
A lot of baseball played with Joey Heldy when he was back in high school. A real power hitter from the right side. I remember him hitting one out into the tennis court just beyond where we are in dead center field here at Glen E. Severson Memorial Field. And that was a towering shot from Joey Heldy about 20-some years ago.
So now Evan Heldy at the plate with a 2-1 count. This one going to be away, 3-1. Now Luke Olson's going to come home and should score pretty easily there, as struggling to get a read on the ball was bowling behind the plate. And so Luke Olson crosses home plate for the first Ace Hardware run of the day for post 9, and that moves our score to 3-1 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. So Heldy now with the 3-1 count. And he puts a swing on this one and fouls it straight back to the backstop. So that's going to move our count full here for Heldy. Evan Heldy so far in the year batting .400 at the plate, leads the team. 4 RBIs on the year as well, leads the team. And this one going to get fouled off once again. So Heldy keeping himself alive here. Still a full count, and we'll see if something gives here between the pitcher Hubble and the batter Heldy. Hubble now sets again, delivers, and swung on and down the first base line, but going just foul before it got to the bag. So Heldy still doing whatever he can to get the bat on the ball. And even if it's not in play, even any contact at all is going to help out Heldy here as he fights in the box. This time he's going to put one up the middle, and knocking it down at second base was Riestead. And is the throw in time? It was, but it got past the first baseman Fennel. And so Evan Heldy safe there at first base after a throw that was down in the dirt, and a tough time for Fennel to scoop it there from Riestead. So now Ray finds themselves with another runner on base, and coming to the plate is going to be number 12, Braden Johnson, the first baseman. Johnson playing first base today, but also see him on the mound occasionally too. I believe he was actually the pitcher in the game when Tioga and Ray were suspended, which we're going to finish later today. So Braden Johnson now awaiting in the box. He bats .167 on the year. Just 3 hits so far from the young player from Ray. First pitch, I believe, was outside. Should be a 1-0 count. Hubble now delivers once more. This one's going to be a little bit high and tight. Should make it 2-0. Once again, 2 outs and a runner on first here for Ray. Now we're going to have a check, and this one gets way past the first baseman Fennel. He's taking off all the way back towards the fence. And Evan Heldy hustling for second. Or excuse me, it's not Evan Heldy. Looks like we got a pinch runner in. It's actually Caden Swanson who is pinch running there for Evan Heldy. This one going to be low and inside to Braden Johnson. 3-0 count now. Hubble now the 3-0. And unable to fight in the strike zone once again, and so Braden Johnson will take first base for free, and that will put runners at first and second here for Ray Post 9, as coming to the plate next is going to be number 3, Chase Coonsey, the center fielder. Coonsey batting 167 on the year, 2 hits on 12 at-bats. Also picked up 4 walks on the year. First pitch going to be in there for strike number 1, 0-1 the count here on Coonsey. This one drops in for strike number 2. So we'll see if Coonsey gets a little bit more aggressive now with the bat. Down 0-2 in the count. Doesn't want to watch strike number 3 go by him as well. This one just a bit high, so good decision to lay off of that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Still 2 outs here for Post 9, but they've been able to get a couple runners on the bags now. See if they can maybe drive in a couple more Ace Hardware runs before this inning ends. This one going to be up high once again to Coonsey, so 2 balls and 2 strikes now the count. Two. In there, strike 3 taken. Emphatic call there from Mike Cushman, as that's going to be the first strikeout of the day, I believe, for either team, as that's also going to be the 3rd out here in the bottom of the 1st inning. And so after 1 full inning, our score 3-1 in favor of the Crosby Cubs on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. We'll step away for a couple of seconds. I'm Carter Longi here with David Peterson. We'll be right back on Game Day Media.
As your local Ace Hardware, our store is a member of the largest retailer-owned hardware cooperative in the industry. Ace Hardware began as a small chain of stores in 1924 and has grown to include more than 4,600 stores in 50 states and more than 70 countries. As part of a cooperative, every Ace Hardware store is independently owned, from neighborhood Ace Hardware stores to lumberyards to supersized home centers. Each Ace Hardware is unique and tailored to meet the needs of its local community. We are all committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products. As the helpful hardware folks in your community, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop on down to 119 North May Street, Tioga, North Dakota, or call them at 701-664-3309. Tioga Ace Hardware, helping you get things done.
Welcome back to Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field for more American Legion action here on Game Day Media. We'd like to welcome you back into the NCC Sports Desk here in Game Day Media. Once again, I'm Carter Longi, joined today by David Peterson in a triangular between Ray Post 9, the Crosby Cubs, and the Tioga Post 139 Patriots. We're in the top of the 2nd inning here of game number 1 between Post 9 and the Cubs, and the Cubs currently holding a 3-1 lead on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. First up at the plate here in the top of the 2nd is going to be number 7, Kyle Knutson, the designated hitter today for the Cubs. 2 strikes here to start out for Knutson. Knutson batting 130 on the year as he puts this one into play down the 3rd base line. That's going to get through for a single. And hustling in from the left field position was Connor Heldy to get that one to not let Knutson push that one out to 2 bags, so he'll stay over there at first. And so a leadoff single for the Cubs gets things rolling once again in the 2nd inning. Brings up the last man in the order today, number 8, Rylan Fennell, the first baseman. Fennell having a little bit of trouble putting balls into play this season. leads the Cubs in an unfortunate category with 13 strikeouts on the year. This one outside and taking off for second is Knutson. He's in there in plenty of time. So Kyle Knutson now stands at second base with nobody out here for the Cubs. Heldy sets and delivers once again, and trying to lay down a bunt there was Fennell, but unsuccessful in that one as he pops it up back behind the plate. And that'll put our count at 1-1, I believe. Pitch from Heldy, and another bunt attempt. This one down the third base line and goes foul. So Fennell will have to head back to the plate once again. Now up to 2 strikes in his count. So Fennell, I have to imagine, is not going to try and lay down the bunt once again, as of course a fouled bunt can put you out.
You know, if I'm Garrett Donnelly, I'm probably playing straight off the bag, maybe up a little bit. If that bunt situation does come, shortstop's going to have to cover third as it gets hit by a pitch.
So Fennell will take first base for free. After getting worked into a 1-2 count, Heldy gives it up by hitting him with the pitch. And so now runners at first and second for the Cubs, and their lineup turns over back to the top. As coming back to the plate is going to be number 10 on Isaiah Rendell. Rendell, a center fielder today. First time up, grounded out to the shortstop. See if he can get a little bit of a different result this time. Rendell in the season batting .286 from the plate.
Rendell also looking, trying to get that bunt, get the little bit of small ball by Coach Isaac Ellingson. Get his team into scoring position for his 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters as they come down the line.
This pitch gets away from Luke Olson as it was in the dirt from Heldy. And so both runners for the Cubs will pretty much walk to second and third. Not a whole lot of hustle there from the Crosby runners. That could have been maybe a little bit dangerous, especially Fennell. Olson had it in his hand, and Fennell was about halfway between the bags, just walking over. But luckily for him, they didn't try to make it too much of an effort to get him. This one down in the dirt, but going after it anyways was Rendell, so it's going to be strike number 2 on his count. 1-2 to the center fielder. And swung on, and I guess he got a little bit of a piece of it. First I thought he came up empty there, but home plate umpire Mike Cushman says he gets a little bit of a tip, so he'll stay alive for now. And this one going to be batted off to the side. Foul ball once again, so staying at 1-2 here. Heldy now sets, delivers. Swung on and missed, and going down swinging was Isaiah Rendell. It's going to be the first strikeout of the day for Evan Heldy, and it's also going to be the first out here in the top of the second inning. Next to the plate, number 24, Tate Haugano.
Nailed it.
I got it that time. Third baseman today for the Cubs. First time up, he walked and was eventually put out at second on a fielder's choice. This one down low for ball number 1.
Nice stop by Luke Olson. You know, it looked like he was maybe expecting something outside to the left-handed Haugano. Kind of dove down into the dirt down by the feet to Haugano, and he's able to twist his glove and get his body in front of it to knock it down for a nice play without any damage to be done with runners at second and third.
This one must have been just a hair outside, as I did not see a strike call, so I believe it's 2-0. And down in the dirt once more, another good block by Luke Olson. 3-0 now here to Haugano. This one inside, and 4 straight balls gives Tate Haugano a free base, and runners at first, second, and third now for the Crosby Cubs, and just 1 out as coming to the plate, one of their most dangerous bats, number 23, Easton Eriksmo in the shortstop.
You know, they got the lethal part of their lineup. Haugano coming in with a .400 batting average, you know, leading the team with 14, tied for the team with 14 hits, and now you're into Easton Eriksmo coming in with 316 batting average with 12 hits, 8 by way of singles. So Easton Eriksmoen puts the ball in play, is used to that. A lot of damage going on between the bags. He's chopped one over to the.
Great grab there by Donnelly as he gets the force out at home. As David had mentioned there, Eriksmoen hit a high chopper to third base. He had to leap for the grab and fires it home.
That was a nice heads-up play by Garrett Donnelly for Ray Post 9, being able to, he looked like he was playing straight off the bag there, was able to go up and get it and fire it home, and Luke Olson just had his foot on the base for the force out at home. But nice heads-up play by Garrett Donnelly.
So 2 outs now for the Crosby Cubs. Next to the plate going to be number 2, Damon Bowling, the catcher. First time up, he was able to single, and if he could do it again here, he'll have an opportunity to drive some runs in for the Cubs. First pitch going to be taken for strike number 1. Bowling already leads the team with 14 RBIs on the season. Looking to drive in a few more right here. Puts it into play. It's at the shortstop Hartsock, and he flips it over to the second baseman Grove for out number 3. Grove was trying to turn 2 there, but got the third out anyways right there at second, so into the clear, and that's going to be the third out here in the top of the second. So our score will stay at 3-1 in favor of the Crosby Cubs on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. We'll take another quick break. I'm Carter Longi here with David Peterson. We'll be right back on Game Day Media.
Born and raised amidst the small-town love of Northwest North Dakota, we at Northwest Communications Cooperative understand the joy of being part of a great community. That's why we choose to pour back into the people who pour into us. At NCC, we offer internet, telephone, video, and security services that are industry standard, top of the line. Based in Ray, North Dakota, we consider Northwest North Dakota our neighborhood. Let us know how we can serve you. Local, fast, reliable. Making connections, locally committed.
Since 1961, Tioga Medical Center has been providing quality health care to Northwest North Dakota patients. With a newly built clinic in Tioga, where primary care providers along with visiting specialists are caring for patients every day. Primary care clinics in Ray and Powers Lake also. Call for an appointment today at 701-664-3368. Tioga Medical Center. Great staff making a difference in the lives of patients every day.
The Bank of Tioga, with locations in Tioga and Crosby, North Dakota. Come and talk to us about all your financial needs. Whether it's agriculture, business, investments, or personal banking, we have the right product for you. Call our Tioga Bank at 701-664-3388 or our Crosby Bank at 701-965-6333 to discuss your needs with us. Ignite prosperity at the Bank of Tioga. As your local Ace Hardware, our store is a member of the largest retailer-owned hardware cooperative in the industry. Ace Hardware began as a small chain of stores in 1924 and has grown to include more than 4,600 stores in 50 states and more than 70 countries. As part of a cooperative, every Ace Hardware store is independently owned, from neighborhood Ace Hardware stores to lumberyards to supersized home centers. Each Ace Hardware is unique and tailored to meet the needs of its local community. We are all committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products. As the helpful hardware folks in your community, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop on down to 119 North May Street, Tioga, North Dakota, or call them at 701-664-3309. Tioga Ace Hardware, helping you get things done.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field, and welcome back into the NCC Sports Desk here in Ray, North Dakota. I'm Carter Longi, joined by David Peterson for another American Legion matchup. First game on hand today of our triangular It's between the Crosby Cubs and Ray Post 9. Post 9 back at the plate here, down 3-1 in the bottom of the second inning on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. And at the plate for them is going to be number 0, Colton Grove, the second baseman. First pitch to Grove was taken for strike number 1. This one swung on and fouled off, so an 0-2 count now for Grove. Grove pretty efficient for the most part this year from the plate, batting .357 on the year with 5 hits. Also picked himself up a pair of walks so far on the season. Oh, 2 now. And Grove swings at one that was darn near at his head. And visibly upset with himself after that one. I think just got a little bit too anxious to protect the plate with the bat there. Ends up chasing something that he probably shouldn't have. And so he'll go down swinging for the second strikeout of the day there for Landon Hubble. 1 out now here in the bottom of the second inning. Next up to the plate going to be number 5, Garrett Donnelly, the third baseman. Donnelly batting .167 on the year for Post 9.
A lot of youth for the Post 9 Jays. I don't know if that's what they're officially called, but for Post 9, a lot of youth for them. Maybe should be playing a Babe Ruth age as a flyout over to Ryland Fennell for first base for the first out. But a lot of youth for both of these teams. Tioga Patriots are pretty young. Ray's pretty young. Crosby is probably the oldest team in the triangular in the league. I was talking to Joey Heldy prior to the game. It's tough to compete with those Burlingtons of the world and the Surreys of the world, where some of them, it's a well-rooted program. Kids play year in and year out, and it's tough. It's tough to compete, but they put their best foot forward and do what they can and try to get better every game, and the success will come.
At the plate now for Ray is number 20, Caleb Luce, the right fielder. And not sure what the count is here at the moment. Maybe 1-1. 2-0, excuse me. Luce so far in the year batting .300 for the Jays. Just 3 hits, though, as he's only had 10 at-bats. This one called a strike, though. Going to move our count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Setting and now delivering once again is Hubble. This one going to be put into play out in the left field and collected fairly easily there by the left fielder, Peyton Hanisch. And the Cubs take care of Ray no problem that time, 1-2-3. And they head back to the dugout after 2 full innings. Our score is still 3-1 in favor of the Crosby Cubs on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. For Carter Longi and David Peterson, we'll be right back on Game Day Media.
Born and raised amidst the small-town love of Northwest North Dakota, we at Northwest Communications Cooperative understand the joy of being part of a great community. That's why we choose to pour back into the people who pour into us. At NCC, we offer internet, telephone, video, and security services that are industry standard, top of the line. Based in Ray, North Dakota, we consider Northwest North Dakota our neighborhood. Let us know how we can serve you. Local, fast, reliable. Making connections, locally committed.
Since 1961, Tioga Medical Center has been providing quality health care to Northwest North Dakota patients. With a newly built clinic in Tioga, where primary care providers along with visiting specialists are caring for patients every day. Primary care clinics in Ray and Powers Lake also. Call for an appointment today at 701-664-3368. Tioga Medical Center. Great staff making a difference in the lives of patients every day.
The Bank of Tioga, with locations in Tioga and Crosby, North Dakota. Come and talk to us about all your financial needs. Whether it's agriculture, business, investments, or personal banking, we have the right product for you. Call our Tioga Bank at 701-664-3388 or our Crosby Bank at 701-965-6333 to discuss your needs with us. Ignite prosperity at the Bank of Tioga.
Welcome back to Glen E. Severson Memorial Stadium and back into the NCC Sports Desk here on Game Day Media. Carter Longy joined by David Peterson for a American Legion triangular between the Crosby Cubs, Ray Post 9, and Tioga Post 139 Patriots. First game on deck between the Crosby Cubs and the Ray Post 9 Jays taking place right now, and it's Crosby back at the plate once again. We're in the top of the third inning, and Crosby holds a 2-run lead as it is 3-1 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. At the plate for the second time today is Peyton Costed, and Costed going to ground out to the pitcher, Heldy, and so that's going to be out number 1, taken care of pretty easily there by the Jays. And now to the plate, it's going to be number 1, Landon Hubble, the pitcher. First time up, Hubble was able to pick himself up a double while also driving in a couple of runs. Reached third base before being stranded there as the first pitch is up high for ball number 1.
Quick reaction time by Evan Heldy at the pitcher position. A hot line drive off to his left side. One hopped into his glove as one's hit high deep to Chase Coonsey for the lazy fly ball out.
Pretty routine play there for Coonsey as he makes the grab for out number 2, and Ray looking to make a quick half innings work here as Crosby just did to them in the bottom of the second. 2 up and 2 down as coming to the plate is number 9, Peyton Hanisch, the left fielder, who just made the grab out there and left to end the second inning.
You know, Dallas Hansen, a good friend of mine up in Crosby, if you check him out, he's got a podcast called Swim Lanes that he gets a lot of primetime athletes that he's able to get out as another drive into center field as Coonsey gathers the ball and throws it back in. But there's a huge play that Peyton Hanisch made in the region tournament down in Newtown at the Four Bears Event Center, to where Divide County, all they needed to do was get the ball in bounds. And I can't remember who threw it in, but somebody threw it in opposite of the goal that they were going towards, and they threw it out there, and Hanisch just absolutely busted his butt 90 feet, grabbed the ball and tiptoed before he stepped out of bounds and was able to secure the win for Divide County, I think, to get into the region semifinal game. I believe it was maybe against Trenton. Quote me if I'm wrong, Dallas, if you're listening. But it was a really good hustle play. He was our Wall and Oilfield Trucking Services player of the game that night, just due to that hustle play that was able to save the game for the Divide County Maroons.
Throw down here from Olsen trying to get Hanisch. Taking off for second base was just a little bit late, and also not a very clean grab there at second base either. So Hanisch in pretty safely to second base. And at the plate, I don't think we've mentioned it yet, is number 7, Kyle Knutson, the designated hitter, once again batting in place of the second baseman, Jacob Riestead. This one is taken for a strike and moves the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Heldy now sets, delivers, swung on, and missed.
Nice pitch. Looked like he was out in a little bit in front of it. Maybe Evan pulled the string a little bit to throw a little off speed to him, but he was definitely out in front of that ball, was Knutson.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and Heldy misses the strike zone that time. Maybe just trying to get Knutson to go chase something with the count in the place that it was, but nonetheless moves it to 2-2. 2 outs and a runner on second. This one going to be down low, a nice block there by Olsen to avoid letting Hanisch advance to third, and I believe the count is now full. Payoff pitch is up high, and ball number 4 there from Heldy. Kind of a tough break there as Heldy wasn't able to find the strike zone at the end after getting ahead 1-2 in the count, and ends up walking Knutson on 3 straight balls. Runners at first and second now for the Cubs. Back at the plate for the second time today, number 8, Rylan Fennell, the first baseman. Fennell, first time up, ended up getting hit by a pitch after falling behind in the count 0-2. This one swung on, put into play at the third baseman. Donnelly collects and touches his own bag for the force out. A good heads-up play there by Garrett Donnelly to get out number 3. And that's going to end the top of the third inning here in Ray. And so as we head to the bottom of 3, our score is still 3-1 in favor of the Crosby Cubs on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. For Carter Longy and David Peterson, we'll be right back on Game Day Media.
As your local Ace Hardware, our store is a member of the largest retailer-owned hardware cooperative in the industry. Ace Hardware began as a small chain of stores in 1924 and has grown to include more than 4,600 stores in 50 states and more than 70 countries. As part of a cooperative, every Ace Hardware store is independently owned, from neighborhood Ace Hardware stores to lumberyards to supersized home centers. Each Ace Hardware is unique and tailored to meet the needs of its local community. We are all committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products. As the helpful hardware folks in your community, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop on down to 119 North May Street, Tioga, North Dakota, or call them at 701-664-3309. Tioga Ace Hardware, helping you get things done. Born and raised amidst the small-town love of Northwest North Dakota, we at Northwest Communications Cooperative understand the joy of being part of a great community. That's why we choose to pour back into the people who pour into us. At NCC, we offer internet, telephone, video, and security services that are industry standard, top of the line. Based in Ray, North Dakota, we consider Northwest North Dakota our neighborhood. Let us know how we can serve you. Local, fast, reliable. Making connections, locally committed.
For the weekend.
Strike.
Welcome back to Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field. Carter Longy, David Peterson here at the NCC Sports Desk on Game Day Media. We're ready to go for the bottom of the third inning between Ray Post 9 and the Crosby Cubs. At the plate, ready to go, is number 1 Carter Hartsock, the shortstop. First time up, he lined out to his own position. As we saw back in the beginning of the game, it was Easton Eriksmoen making a very athletic diving play on Hartsock's hard hit ball. So we'll see what he can do this time. Puts one into play out into center field right at us here in the press box. And right over the head of Rendell. Not able to make the play on it. And trying to get back in quickly. And now they do, as Hartsock is into second. He could have been in with a stand-up double, but ended up rounding a little bit too far and had to dive back to the bag to make sure he didn't go too far. But nonetheless, he ends up being all right. And that's a leadoff double there for the Ray Post 9 Jays.
Kind of a misplay by Rendell. You know, it should have been a F8. In my book, I would probably score that as an error. That should have been an out, but you know, nonetheless, maybe you need to hustle over to the left side of the center field to make sure you can make that play and collect the out. Otherwise, you could put the speedy Carter Hartsock at second base, already in scoring position with Luke Olson, their top hitter. You know, getting the runs over, being down 3-1 right now on your Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. Ray needs to get the ball going. It's already the bottom of the third inning, so they're only playing 6 innings. So we're halfway through this, so that Ray needs to get some runs on the board in order to tie it up.
This one out of Olson hit hard up the middle and out into center. And this time Rendell's able to make a good play on it. And Hartsock decides to hold up at third as Rendell made the play. And
probably a smart move. It was a good play on Rendell being able to field it. You know, it was coming in. His momentum was carrying in. I'd imagine he was going to challenge Hartsock and throw it all the way to home plate.
Next to the plate, number 10, Connor Heldy, the left fielder. First time up, he grounded out, and now he's got runners at the corners with nobody out. And a chance to maybe put another Ace Hardware run on the board for Ray Post 9 here as Hartsock stands at third. Now Olson takes off for second, and surprisingly, Crosby does kind of bite there as Bowling threw it down, but kind of half-heartedly, as I think he maybe did that on purpose, as Eriksmoen caught it before it even got over to second, as they're probably preparing for maybe Bate and Hartsock to go for home.
I think what they were, if it would have been maybe a little bit harder throw from the catcher into the Eriksmoen shortstop coming in right behind the pitcher's mound, at that time Hartsock was supposed to bite and head home, but he never did.
This one goes foul from Heldy, and so he'll head back to the box and prepare for another pitch in this at-bat. I think the count on Heldy stands at 2-1.
You have to be honest. People are watching. And on the radio, when we did the radio for AM KTGO, you kind of say maybe whatever you want. Now the truth is out there, so there's no more lying here.
Well, I forgot my binoculars today, and we're a little ways out, so I'll do my best. But
yes.
I'm not purposely lying, I promise that.
Got that good young vision still, Carter.
3 balls and 1 strike should be the count. 2 runners in scoring position here for Ray. This one's swung on and put into play by Helde, and the throw home to hold Hartsock at third is probably the right play there, as they don't give up the run, and now they have force outs everywhere, as Olsen still stands at second, Hartsock still stands at third, and now Connor Helde over to first after Crosby chooses to just hold the runoff.
Eric Simone probably played it right, but what he could have done, he could have taken his time, because I think his arm is probably more powerful than Connor Helde's speed, is to maybe check that runner back, get a little couple pump fakes in there, and fire the ball over there, as Fennell would then maybe fire the ball home if Hartsock decided to challenge his one hit deep.
Hard hit ball out into left field and over the head of Hanisch, as heading home is Hartsock. Also into the home plate is going to be Olsen, and now safe at third is Connor Helde, who should have been tagged out there by Haugenow, but Haugenow couldn't hold on to the ball on the tag attempt, so Helde is going to be safe at third after he crawls back to the bag after the ball is dropped. And so 2 Ace Hardware runs come across the plate, tying this ball game up on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard 3-3, and now the Helde brothers stand at second and third, both in scoring position, as number 12, Braden Johnson, the first baseman, comes to the plate.
Helde absolutely smashed that one hop into left field, kind of burned Peyton Hanisch, playing middle of the field in his left field position, but is a nice relay throw. And to me, I would have maybe challenged if Connor Helde was maybe out of the base path, as he kind of duped little Euro step around the third baseman to prevent from being tagged. But nonetheless, third baseman dropped the ball, and he would have been safe either way. Nice heads-up play and a good call by the field umpire, Lloyd Mosley, being able to kind of process the play as it happened.
So once again, it's Braden Johnson, the first baseman, at the plate now for Ray. Johnson batting 167 on the year. He puts this one into play and snagged quickly by Howell. Swung over to first for the out. As I was just saying, Johnson walked earlier, but this time he's going to ground out for out number 1 only here in the bottom of the third inning. So Ray still in pretty good shape here, as coming to the plate now is going to be number 3, Chase Coonsey, the center fielder, who struck out looking his first time, and I believe he looked at every single pitch last time. So we'll see if he's a little bit more aggressive this time at the plate. And he starts off this one with a swing, but it's still going to come up empty, so 0-1 to start out.
That was a nice play by Landon. That's the play that maybe Easton Eriksmoen could have done to prevent some runs. He checked the runner back to third, fired it over to first, and Fennell, as he caught it, stepped off the bag and was ready to fire home if need be.
This one popped up into foul territory over by the third base line, and it's Haugenow making the play over there on the third base line. It's kind of confusing. It's backwards here when we're out in the outfield.
Yeah, we've been calling the games, or you've been calling the games in Tioga at Patriot Field. Beautiful new facility in Tioga, $750,000, kind of showcased on KX News the other day. We get to bird's eye view, but now we are kind of like the big shots up in the press box out in center field, being able to watch the game from center field.
I don't know. I still feel like a big shot at home.
We are a big shot.
I think we're probably big shots anywhere we go, right?
Like I said before, Carter, you're the greatest of all time to ever broadcast for Game Day Media. So put that feather in your hat and wear it proud, man.
Well, we'll see if I can hold on to that. We still got Randy coming back, so hopefully we'll see what happens there. But at the plate, once again, number 0, Colton Grove, the second baseman. He struck out his first time up around back in the bottom of the second. This one swung on, put into play, and this one looks like it's going to bloop out here in right field, and it's going to bring home Connor Helde, and that's going to be another Ace Hardware run there for the Ray Post 9 Jays, as now they have taken their first lead of the ballgame, 4-3 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. They still have runners at the corners with Helde and Grove after his single gets him the RBI, and of course gets himself on base. And now coming to the plate, number 5, Garrett Donnelly, the third baseman. First time up, Donnelly popped out to the first baseman, Fennell. This one he's going to put on the ground. It's going to get through once again over to this right side. Now Evan Helde will come home to score, and advancing over to second, of course, was Grove. So a couple of back-to-back RBI singles from the Ray Post 9 Jays put them ahead by 2 runs in this ball game, 5-3 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard.
Nice hitting. They're really timing the pitch that's going on from Landon Hubble. They've consecutively hit, other than Chase Coonsy's F5, but they're consecutively hitting, and what they're doing is they're hitting it hard. Like, you can really hear the pop of the bat way out here in center field, and the ball's going a long ways. The ball's carrying out, as you mentioned, a wind from the west-northwest carrying south. So the ball gets up in the air. It goes a long ways.
This one's going to be called a ball. At the plate is number 20, Caleb Luce, the right fielder. Luce batting .300 on the season so far for Post 9. Just 3 hits, though, on the year, 10 at-bats so far. Earlier in this game, he flew out to left. Comes up with a swing and a miss that time.
We talk about Randy. Randy's the partner to Game Day Media. Longtime play-by-play announcer for 660 Keys Country out of Williston, and then went on board with AM 1090 KTGO out of Fargo with Flag Family Media, and since then we've decided to create this Game Day Media, kind of on a whim of a lot of prayers gone into it, a lot of consideration of what we can do to make ends meet, to make these broadcasts happen, and he will be coming on board as soon as the Legion baseball season is over, and we're putting a schedule together. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor for Game Day Media, reach out to myself or Randy. Our numbers come across on the commercials. We'd love to have you as sponsors, as our job as media, as one driven deep into center field here for Ray Post 9. We'd love to have you. We're looking for sponsors. Help us put it out there. Our job as media is to make sure that we're promoting these athletes in Northwest North Dakota. A lot of recognition to a lot of really good kids and a lot of really good athletes in this area, and our job is to get the news out about them.
Lineup now turned over here for Ray as they score yet another run, pushing their lead out to 3 runs now as they lead, 3 runs, I think. This one going to be put into play once again here, and coming home for the lead up to 4 was Donnelly, and sliding in safely to third was Luce as Carter Hartsock put that one into play out into right field for a single. And sorry, kind of got a little bit behind there. There's a lot going on, but it was a single from Hartsock that ended up scoring Donnelly and advanced Caleb Luce over to third from first. And Hartsock also able to get himself over to second base after the ball kind of being tossed around the diamond a little bit there.
Yeah, they've gone. Ray's gotten the bats alive. They're putting up a crooked number here as Luke Olson, another good, like we said before earlier in the inning, another good, power hitter for these Ray Jays. Probably has no problem getting it over the fence since he does have the lone home run for the Ray Post 9. They're definitely on him, though. They're timing their hits, they're timing their swings, and they're putting the ball in play.
Yeah, so Ray's leading now up to 7-3 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. They've now scored 6 runs, 6 Ace Hardware runs here in this third inning, and really kind of just flipped this game on its head after trailing 3-1 for most of the game. This one swung at hard and just barely gets a piece of it was Olson. And David, looks like Ray kind of listened to you there at the beginning of the bottom of the third here. You said that they better get the bats going as it's a little bit of a shorter than usual game, and I think they've done that.
Yeah, they've definitely done their part. As Luke Olson maybe looked at one a little high and outside, in my opinion. But nonetheless, excellent inning put for the Ray Post 9. Able to get a bunch of crooked numbers up on the board as we go to break here. The Ray Post 9-7, the Crosby Post 75 Cubs 7-3 as we go into the top of the 4th inning here at Ray Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field.
Since 1961, Tioga Medical Center has been providing quality health care to Northwest North Dakota patients. With a newly built clinic in Tioga, where primary care providers along with visiting specialists are caring for patients every day. Primary care clinics in Ray and Powers Lake also. Call for an appointment today at 701-664-3368. Tioga Medical Center. Great staff making a difference in the lives of patients every day.
The Bank of Tioga, with locations in Tioga and Crosby, North Dakota. Come and talk to us about all your financial needs. Whether it's agriculture, business, investments, or personal banking, we have the right product for you. Call our Tioga Bank at 701-664-3388 or our Crosby Bank at 701-965-6333 to discuss your needs with us. Ignite prosperity at the Bank of Tioga.
Welcome back into our NCC Sports Desk here in Game Day Media. Once again, Carter Longy and David Peterson with you today, bringing you all of today's action from this American Legion Triangular here in Ray, North Dakota, from Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field. Don't know if I mentioned that yet. Game number one going on right now between the Ray Post 9 Jays and the Crosby Post 75 Cubs. So far, it was mostly all Cubs in the first 2.5 innings. But there in the bottom of the third, Ray completely came to life, scoring 6 runs and gets themselves into a 4-run lead over the Cubs here, 7-3 as we head to the top of 4. And we'll see if the Cubs can answer with something here. Again, the Cubs scored all 3 of their runs back in the first, so they really haven't been super productive on the offensive side as of late either. So it's kind of been all Ray here the past couple of innings. Crosby still got put some balls in play, but they haven't really been able to get anybody across the plate yet, obviously. And so here we go, ready to go in the top of the 4th, and their lineup flips over here as we get going. Number 10, Isaiah Rindell, the center fielder, is going to lead things off. Puts one into center field, and Coonsey leaps for it, and right off the top of his mitt, and he'll have to hustle to get it in, as we can hear Heldy kind of helping him know where the runner's at and let him know where to go with the ball as he throws it over to third, which is the right play there, as Rindell was already at second and rounding the bag. So good communication there by the Ray Post 9 Jays, but nonetheless, Isaiah Rindell gets it going there with a stand-up double to begin the 4th inning.
Nice play, big effort play by Chase Coonsey, no stranger to playing on this field, really coming into his own as a big receiver as another one's hit off to his left side.
And Coonsey a little bit of trouble here getting the mitt on the ball this time as Rindell rounds third base, headed for home, and Braden Johnson was going to maybe make a throw there, but I think he was trying to make the throw before he quite had the ball in his hand. So ends up just dropping on the ground, and Rindell will score for an Ace Hardware run, making our score 7-4 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard, as it was Tate Hagano. I'm going to keep messing that up. Put that one into play. And that one was probably an error on Coonsey. First one was a very tough play. That one was a little bit more routine. Probably should have came down with that one.
Yeah, it for sure. This for sure was a erred play, similar to Isaiah Rindell's play on the flip side of the inning. His routine play. Need to get over there, get under the ball. He's definitely fast enough to get over there. He just needs to keep his eye on the ball and get that glove up in the air and watch it come into the glove. But it cost him a run, potentially 2 runs out of that, as Haugano was able to get a double off the play. There's
another hard hit ball high into center field, and Coonsey underneath this one and secures that one. And so Coonsey, after having trouble with the first 2, the first one from Rindell was a tough play, but after having a little bit of trouble getting the ball the mitt on the ball a couple times there, he's able to collect that one from Easton Eriksmoen, and that's going to be out number 1 here in the top of the 4th.
Us a couple of old-timers sitting up here, should be a routine play. It's easy for us to say, as you said earlier, a lot of umpires out in the stands making calls, but it is a lot tougher than probably what people think to be able to catch the ball off the backstop. You're out there quite a ways, kind of on an island. You make one error, you make a big play, and it didn't go in your glove. You make a next play, it's potentially an error. Then you kind of get put on an island, and stuff like that can snowball into bad after bad after bad play. But a little bit of redemption, able to catch the fly out from Eriksmoen with 1 out. So,
and then baseball probably the biggest mental game there is, or at least one of the biggest. Definitely nothing easy, keeping it things in check, as it was Damon Bowling striking out there for the second out of the inning, and I believe it's going to be second strikeout of the day for Evan Heldy. I was saying, very strong mental game. You know, you think of the mental game more at the plate, I think, usually. But obviously, when you're out there, especially in the outfield, as Dave mentioned, kind of on an island, you mess up a couple times, and it's really easy to lose the confidence in yourself to be able to make just what we think are routine plays.
Yeah,
this one hit into left field, and Connor Heldy comes in to grab the ball on a one-hop. Nearly was able to get Haugeno, who ended up rounding third and maybe going just a little bit too far initially, but able to get back into the bag, as that was Peyton Costed who picked up a single there.
You know what never used to happen back in the day, we want to go back in the day, was kids' hats flying off their heads. You know, everybody's got these flat-billed hats nowadays, to where I remember back when I was in high school and playing Legion baseball for Coach Mike Anderson, one of the good ones that played and coached in Tioga. The brims were always curved. You know, you had it just about touching on the ends of it, and there was no wind coming off it. Maybe we were just slower than these guys or something.
I don't know how much of that's the brim, or maybe some of these guys just have caps that are too big too. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hop with you in the old-timer boat on the hat thing, David. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's probably more of a you thing, not really me.
I'm old. I know it. Just had my birthday. I turned 40.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. June 20th, way back when, but yeah. Had a good run. Carter used to play basketball for the Pirates. Got to know him real well. Nice family from Tioga. Played basketball for the Pirates. Played football for the Pirates. Played baseball for the Pirates. What else did you do for the Pirates?
I don't know. You'd almost maybe think I was a Pirate.
Yeah. Pirate.
Played some golf for the Pirates, too.
Played golf for the Pirates. You know, I heard you were talking off air a couple days ago. Your mom was a radio DJ.
Yep.
Is that shout out? You know, she was a radio DJ for probably Gabby back at KTGO in Tioga.
Yeah, she was Becky O'Neill. I was back in the days of the radio DJ names, I guess. You don't really do that anymore. It's pretty funny. Anytime I tell probably just about anybody over the age of, I don't know, maybe 45 or so.
40 for sure, me.
maybe even 40, I guess. That I'm in radio. They are always like, "Oh, so what's your radio name?" And it's just like, well, they don't really do that anymore. Believe it or not.
Before
maybe the music DJs still do a little bit, but the you know, people in the sports world are always pretty much going with this just the real name.
I don't know. Before your time is up here at Game Day Media, Carter, I feel like we need to christen you maybe and get you a radio handle.
We'll let that one go. Swing and a big miss there by Peyton Hanisch, who's now at the plate for the Cubs. Left fielder today. So far, he's picked himself up a single back in the third and then also a ground out in the first. Good-looking pitch there from Heldy, and looks a little stunned that he didn't get the call there. Count should be somewhere in the 2-2 range. Bases are loaded here for Crosby. Swung on and fouled back. Count will stay even.
If you're listening, make sure you comment. Carter needs a radio name, I think. Can't just be Carter Longy. That's too boring, right?
I don't know. I think it's pretty cool.
Needs some flair to it.
Last pitch there was inside to Hanisch, so it should be a full count now. Runner takes off from home, and this one's going to be a high fly ball out into center field. Can Coonsey get there? And he does. And he loses the hat once again, David. So there you go. You can bring that one up once more as you kind of get into your old head of years. But nonetheless, that's going to be the third out here in the top of the fourth inning. Just one run was scored there by the Cubs. And so as we head to the bottom of four, our score is 7-4 in favor of the post-9 Jays. Now they'll come back to the plate looking to add to it. We'll be right back here on Game Day Media.
As your local Ace Hardware, our store is a member of the largest retailer-owned hardware cooperative in the industry. Ace Hardware began as a small chain of stores in 1924 and has grown to include more than 4,600 stores in 50 states and more than 70 countries. As part of a cooperative, every Ace Hardware store is independently owned, from neighborhood Ace Hardware stores to lumberyards to supersized home centers. Each Ace Hardware is unique and tailored to meet the needs of its local community. We are all committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products. As the helpful hardware folks in your community, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop on down to 119 North May Street, Tioga, North Dakota, or call them at 701-664-3309. Tioga Ace Hardware, helping you get things done.
Since 1961, Tioga Medical Center has been providing quality health care to Northwest North Dakota patients. With a newly built clinic in Tioga, where primary care providers along with visiting specialists are caring for patients every day. Primary care clinics in Ray and Powers Lake also. Call for an appointment today at 701-664-3368. Tioga Medical Center. Great staff making a difference in the lives of patients every day.
Welcome back to Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field here in Ray, North Dakota. I'm Carter Longy with David Peterson, sitting here at the NCC Sports Desk for today's Triangular American Legion little tournament here in Ray. First game up here, we have Ray Post 9 Jays taking on the Crosby Cubs, who made the hour-long drive down here to Ray. Tioga and Ray didn't have quite the commute that Crosby did, by about sixfold, as a hard-hit ball over to the third baseman, Haugano, and a good throw over to first, but unable to be corralled by Fennell, as coming in to first base was Connor Heldy. Heldy batting for the second time for the second inning in a row, I should say, with a little base-reaching error there. Obviously, Ray very dominant there in the bottom of the third. They got through their entire lineup and then two more, so picking up where they left off with Heldy putting one into play. Now Evan Heldy, it's a high fly ball into left center, and collecting it is Rindell, and kind of a tough play there by the two outfielders there for Crosby, as Rindell and Hanisch kind of looked like they decided last minute there who was going to take that one. They were both hauling pretty good until I think Rindell finally called him off.
I don't know the official rule play on that or skill play, but I would say anything fly ball, the center fielder will call you off. You know, and just by where he caught it as the sun's starting to set here at Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field, looked like it was caught kind of right in the shadow of the high lights that they got here at the field. Maybe could have caused for some issues, but none issues there for Isaiah Rindell as he was able to make the fly out. This one's
hard hit ball, but he goes foul for Braden Johnson. Braden Johnson, one of the younger players on this Ray team.
Nice looking player for Ray, you know, up and coming player for the Ray Jays baseball team, basketball team. A lot of sports knowledge. I remember watching him pitch probably against you, Carter, when you were coaching for the Tioga Rec Council at tournaments and stuff like that. But, you know, throws the ball really nice for the Jays. Not very overpowering, but I think he's got some good command on some of his fastballs and curveballs that he got. But nice up-and-coming, another up-and-coming player for these Ray Jays.
This one way outside from Hubble. Count sitting at 2-2. Outside, and this will make her count full, as taking off for second is Heldy. And so Connor Heldy in pretty safely and easily over into second. So runner in scoring position now for the Ray Post 9 Jays.
You know, a lot of rework has been done here at this Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field. They put the grandstand up about 3-4 years ago. I think Bingaman Construction was tasked with that. Done a nice job. They got nice colors, green and white. Your classic baseball colors.
Johnson just walked there, so runners at first and second now for the Post 9 Jays, and now to the plate number 3, Chase Coonsey, the center fielder. And Coonsey, maybe a couple struggles there in the field in the top of the inning, but we'll see if maybe he can put something in play with the bat this time.
It's a nice setting here in Ray as it sits right on Highway 2. Highway 2 runs east and west. They got fireworks stands right over on the side, right across the road. They got the porch if you're looking for a nice coffee. Make sure you get over to the porch, support the local coffee business here in Ray. Prime location right by NCC, our sports desk. Season-long sponsor. If you're interested in sponsoring Game Day Media and get your name out there for some advertising, give me a call, look me up Facebook, look me up, send me an email at dpeterson at GameDayMediaND.com. My phone number is 701-641-6030. Get you on board with Game Day Media, sponsoring, promoting all these high school athletes in Northwest North Dakota.
See, Dave, this is exactly why we can't be using radio names, because we got to make sure people know who we are so they can reach out, help out at Game Day Media.
That's true.
Fly ball out into left field, collected by Hanisch, puts out Kunze, and that's going to be the second out here in the top of the fourth. Next to the plate is going to be number 0, Colton Grove, the second baseman.
Case closed.
Case closed, yep.
Maybe get your brother to argue for me. Have Cass Longy get an argument between. He can back me maybe if he can.
He better not be backing you. First pitch here to Grove outside. Going to be ball number 1. 1-0 to start out here. Once again, 2 runners on for the Ray Post 9 Jays. Heldy at second, Johnson at first, 2 outs.
Yeah, nice little shout out to our guys running the show for us. Without these two, your job and my job are basically worthless. We got Nick Walla running the producer computer for us. Huge thank you to Nick Walla, Tioga High School student. The other one that's running our camera for this game is James Meyer, a freshman in Tioga. Huge thank you to those two guys. Again, the two best producer and cameraman that Game Day Media has ever had. So it's always fun having you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy what we're doing here. Get your name out there, get you some recognition, get some experience, because everything from here on out I feel like is going internet, broadcast, not necessarily broadcasting, but streaming. There's a lot of career that can be made in the internet world right now.
Colton Grove walked there, so bases will now be juiced here for the Post 9 Jays, and coming to the plate is going to be number 5, Garrett Donnelly, the third baseman. Picked himself up a single last time he found himself at the plate back in the third, and we'll see if maybe he can't drive in a couple runs for the Jays right here.
Kind of the same situation that happened when they got the bats going. They got 4 in a row that got around the horn as they put one into play here that'll for sure score probably 2 runs.
So coming home and scoring an Ace Hardware run is Heldy, and run number 2 comes across with Braden Johnson. Kind of tough to see from our vantage point what's going on over there in right field, but took him a while to get that ball in, and Johnson came in pretty easily. I kind of thought maybe there'd be a little bit of a play at the plate there, at least close to it for Braden Johnson, but he was in with plenty of time, and I kind of almost think if he really wanted to, Grove maybe even could have stretched in for a run there too. At the plate now, number 20, Caleb Luce, after Donnelly's 2-run RBI.
You know, it looks like there's quite a bit of room on that right field line. Is the big hole between the second baseman, covering tight to the bag, and then Rylan Fennell doing his part of holding the base runner close, and this should be a double play here.
Flips it over to Eric Smolin for the third out of the inning. So, David obviously showing us that he's sleeping a little bit over here. We didn't even need the double play. But anyways, Donnelly taken care of over there at second, as it was Reestead flipping it to Eric Smolin for the 4-6 play in the scorebook, and that's going to be the third out, as we mentioned here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So after 4, our score is 9-4 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. Carter Longy and David Peterson, stick around. We'll be right back on Game Day Media.
Born and raised amidst the small-town love of Northwest North Dakota, we at Northwest Communications Cooperative understand the joy of being part of a great community. That's why we choose to pour back into the people who pour into us. At NCC, we offer internet, telephone, video, and security services that are industry standard, top of the line. Based in Ray, North Dakota, we consider Northwest North Dakota our neighborhood. Let us know how we can serve you. Local, fast, reliable. Making connections, locally committed.
Since 1961, Tioga Medical Center has been providing quality health care to Northwest North Dakota patients. With a newly built clinic in Tioga, where primary care providers along with visiting specialists are caring for patients every day. Primary care clinics in Ray and Powers Lake also. Call for an appointment today at 701-664-3368. Tioga Medical Center. Great staff making a difference in the lives of patients every day.
Welcome back to Glen E. Severson Memorial Stadium. Carter Longi and David Peterson coming to you from the NCC Sports Desk here on Game Day Media for our American Legion Triangular today. First game going on right now between the Ray Post 9 Jays and the Crosby Cubs. Score is 9-4 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. As coming up to the plate for the third time tonight is number 7, Kyle Knutson, the designated hitter. You may have saw in our last commercial there of our commercial break, it was a little bit of an ad for our Coach Pitch Tournament coming up here for youth baseball in Northwest North Dakota, July 10th in Kenmare. That's a Monday. A lot of kids from the 8 to 10 age group will be playing some baseball up in Kenmare, so make sure you go out and support them as they continue their baseball careers. And the more support you give those young kids, the more likely it is they're going to keep playing up and into these Legion ranks. So hopefully, we get more and more kids that are sticking with baseball and playing baseball, so we don't we can maybe avoid some of these kids that are so young having to play Legion and things like that, and fill out some rosters consistently, especially with all these nice new complexes that are being built. So make sure, once again, July 10th in Kenmare, we've got the Coach Pitch Tournament up there. Powers Lake, Kenmare, Stanley, Tioga, Ray, and Crosby will all be participating, as Knutson grounded out there to begin the inning. A nice play there by Donnelly, who threw it all the way across the diamond and got him just in time for out number 1 here in the top of the 5th.
That was a real nice play by Garrett. Was able to, go opposite his throwing hand. He was able to, he moved over to the right, knocked it down, put his glove to the ground, hit the backside of the glove, and was able to fire a strike over the first baseman for out number 1.
Hartsock has some trouble with it. Now the throw is in time. So Carter Hartsock, a little bit of trouble getting the ball into his hand there initially, but able to stick with it and get it up and kind of just lobbed it over there and just in time, probably beat him by about a step and a half there. But nonetheless, he is able to get the out, and that's going to be 2 up and 2 down here so far for the Cubs.
Real nice athletic play by Carter Hartsock. He's been doing this a long time for these Ray Jays and for the Ray Post 9 Legion team here. Was it coming out of his shortstop position is a hard hit ball down the left field line.
Yeah, Heldy hustling out for that one, as rounding first and headed to second is Isaiah Rindell. And so Rindell, now 2 innings in a row, he's picked himself up a double for Crosby. And so we'll see if maybe he can get some help from the men behind him. As coming to the plate next is going to be number 24, Tate Haugenow. Haugenow, once again, the third baseman today. He's walked twice and reached on an error. So yet to have a true at-bat here in this game.
Yeah, fielder's choice, base on balls, and an E8. As Rindell takes off to third base on the ball in the dirt, scooped up by Luke Olson.
So Rindell now stands at third in prime scoring position, but again, there are 2 outs. So we'll see if Haugenow can make something happen here to keep the inning in line. But instead, he hits a very hard line drive, and very frustrated there with the fact that I think it was Grove over there at second making the play. He hit the absolute heck out of that ball. Darn near hit the cover off, but unfortunately for him, it was just right at the head of Grove, and probably a good thing that Grove was able to get his glove up in time, because that one would have hurt, I think, if he hadn't quite gotten that one gloved in time. But no run scored there for the Cubs, as they were able to get Rindell over to third after his double. But again, that came with 2 outs and then a quick out from Haugenow, and we find ourselves heading to the bottom of the 5th. Our score is still 9-4 in favor of Ray. I'm Carter Longi here with David Peterson. We'll be right back on Game Day Media.
At Game Day Media, we are dedicated to promoting local athletes and local sports that captivate and inspire our North Dakota fan base. Our mission is to create unforgettable moments, connect people through shared experiences, and foster a sense of community. We strive to bring excitement and joy to enthusiasts while promoting values of teamwork, dedication, and fair play. Your sponsorship of Premier, Elite, and Diamond level packages will enable us to enhance the quality of our productions, expand our reach, and provide unparalleled coverage of various sporting activities and events. Your commitment to our cause has helped us invest in state-of-the-art equipment and improve the overall experience for our viewers and participants. If interested, please contact Randy Peterson at 701-641-1271 or David Peterson at 701-641-6030. Thank you for supporting Game Day Media by promoting and supporting high school athletics across Northwest North Dakota. Born and raised amidst the small-town love of Northwest North Dakota, we at Northwest Communications Cooperative understand the joy of being part of a great community. That's why we choose to pour back into the people who pour into us. At NCC, we offer internet, telephone, video, and security services that are industry standard, top of the line. Based in Ray, North Dakota, we consider Northwest North Dakota our neighborhood. Let us know how we can serve you. Local, fast, reliable. Making connections, locally committed.
Welcome back to Glen E. Severson Memorial Field here in Ray, North Dakota for our American Legion Triangular today, involving the Ray Post 9 Jays, the Crosby Cubs, and, of course, the Tioga Post 139 Patriots. We're nearing the end of Game 1 here as we head to the bottom of 5, as the Jays will come to the plate once again with a 5-run lead on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard, 9-4, to be quite exact. And we got a new pitcher on the mound for the Crosby Cubs. Landon Hubble's day is over, and coming up next onto the mound is going to be number 20, Jacob Riestead. He's been at second base for most of the day. Now he takes the mound, and a couple other shifts in the field here for Crosby. Peyton Hanisch going to come in from left field into that second base spot for Riestead, and out into left field for the first time in the field today is Marcus Shaw, wearing number 17 for the Crosby Cubs, and Hubble has exited the game completely going forward. Starting things off for Ray here in this 5th inning is going to be number 1, Carter Hartsock, the shortstop. So far today, he is 1 for 2. He lined out in the first, reached on an error in the third, and then came back around in the third and picked himself up a single. This one down in the dirt, so Hartsock will smartly lay off of it that time. Shaw kicks, deals, and this one going to go off the helmet of Carter Hartsock. And so he will take first base for free as he's hit by that pitch. Next to the plate for Ray Post 9, number 9, Luke Olson, the catcher. Olson 2 for 3 so far today. Picked up a couple of singles and then also went out with a strikeout.
Their assistant coach, Victor Luce, over coaching first base as Hartsock takes off for second. Slides in easily. I'd imagine Victor Luce and his personality was asking Carter Hartsock, no brains, no headache, maybe, after getting plunked in the head on that last play. But nonetheless, player safety first and foremost. I'm sure Victor is asking him if everything feels right. Sitting on first base, Hartsock's a tough kid. He's probably never been hit in the head before, I'd imagine. So he's probably taken 1 or 2 in his day.
Count on Olson 1-0. Swung on a hard hit ball down the third base line. That's going to stay fair. Hartsock will head around third to score, and Luke Olson will be in quite comfortably to second. And so, man, was that ball on a rope, and Luke Olson gets Ray's offense going even more here as we continue in the bottom of the 5th. Our score now 10-4 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard after that Ace Hardware run.
That was an absolute rocket, like you said, just right over the bag, deep into the foul corner over in left field at Severson Memorial Field, and it was a beautiful looking swing from Luke Olson as he just hammered it down into the left field corner.
Now to the plate once again, going to be number 10, Connor Heldy, the left fielder. Heldy so far today reached base a couple of times, but still looking for that first hit of the day. He grounded out in the first and reached on fielders' choices and errors in the third and fourth innings. Heldy batting .316 on the year, so you kind of have to imagine it's only a matter of time until he picks himself up a base hit. Puts this one into play. It's at the shortstop. Eric Smoen looks to make sure Olson doesn't take off from second first, then fires it over to first for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th.
Nice play by Eric Smoen, keeping Luke Olson close to the bag. Kind of showed his, looked him back is what they call it, looked him back and fired a strike over to Ryland Fennell, the big 6'3" target over at first base. You know, Ryland Fennell, when Tioga was hosting Crosby last week, it's a real good pitching duel between the two. As another, maybe a player interference. I think Lloyd Mosley might call that.
And no calls of now, and it looks like he's probably not going to. So Olson will advance over to third as he kind of ran into Eric Smoen there, who was trying to make a play on the ball. And it's going to be Evan Heldy reaching base there. And I guess it'll have to be scored as a single. And pinch runner now in for Heldy. It's going to be number 2, Caden Swanson. At the plate for Ray, really quick, is number 12, Braden Johnson, the first baseman. Sorry to cut you off there, David.
Yeah, another hard hit. These guys are really hitting the ball hard. I mean, the ball is coming off their bats real hard. And that was just a tough play. I mean, as a base runner, you're taught to kind of get in the way of the ball. If it's on the ground, is to get in the way, make it difficult for the fielder to be able to make the play. He did his job, and it just happened to kind of be at the same spot. Both of them were at the same spot in the field at the same exact time, and there's really nothing that I know that you can call as interference or anything like that for base runner interference or fielder interference. Got him.
And Johnson hit by the ball there. Hit by the pitch, I should say, I guess. Maybe the more technical term to put it. So bases now loaded for Ray Post 9 Jays. And coming up to the plate, going to be number 3, Chase Coonsey, the center fielder. Coonsey 0 for 3 today with a strikeout and a couple of flyouts. This one batted out of play to the foul line. I think we saw a play kind of like that interference one in Tioga. I can't remember which game it was, but just a couple games ago when we had one that was hit up a pop up to the second baseman, and they kind of ran into each other. Yeah,
I believe it was against Surrey when the Surrey Blue Sox came to town. Same kind of situation happened over at second base to Weston Lallum. You just kind of score it as a base hit, like you said, is really nothing you can do about it other than beat the runner there, maybe.
This one swung on, missed by Coonsey. Puts his count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, just 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Ray's already picked up 1 run this inning and looking to make it more here with the bases loaded. A little bit of delay there as Coonsey was kind of looking for a call there, I think, from Joey Heldy, the coach of the Jays. This one high and away. Moves the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Marcus Shaw now kicks and deals. And this one going to be low. So once again, another ball there to Chase Coonsey, and I believe the count should now be full. So it's going to be high and tight. And so walking in a run is Shaw. And now that's going to make our score 11-5 in favor of the Ray Post 9 Jays. As another Ace Hardware run crosses with Luke Olson walking in from third. And, of course, what that means is that the bases also stay loaded as number 0, Colton Grove, second baseman, comes to the plate. Grove puts a swing on that one, pops up behind the plate and back behind the grandstand, and that one is going to be way out of play. So 0-1 the count. Grove so far today 1 for 2. Struck out in the second, but followed that up with a single in the third before walking in the fourth. This ball outside and low 1-0 the count. Shock kicking and dealing, delivers and going to be taken for a strike. This one swung on and popped up back out of play once again. So the count will stay sitting at 1-2. Once again, the bases are still loaded for post 9. Swung on at the shortstop, Eric Smoen, flips it over for 1 out, and the double play is successful by the Cubs. And so nice job there to get out of some trouble as they double up Coonsey heading from first to second, and Grove was the man who put that ball in play. Your classic 6-4-3 double play from the shortstop, the second baseman, and the first baseman to get outs number 2 and 3. And so with that, we will head to the top of the 6th inning, the final inning in today's first game of this triangular. Our score is still 11-5 in favor of the Ray Post 9 Jays. For Carter Longy and David Peterson, we'll be right back on Game Day Media.
As your local Ace Hardware, our store is a member of the largest retailer-owned hardware cooperative in the industry. Ace Hardware began as a small chain of stores in 1924 and has grown to include more than 4,600 stores in 50 states and more than 70 countries. As part of a cooperative, every Ace Hardware store is independently owned, from neighborhood Ace Hardware stores to lumberyards to supersized home centers. Each Ace Hardware is unique and tailored to meet the needs of its local community. We are all committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products. As the helpful hardware folks in your community, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop on down to 119 North May Street, Tioga, North Dakota, or call them at 701-664-3309. Tioga Ace Hardware, helping you get things done.
Welcome back to Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field in Ray, North Dakota. Once again, I'm Carter Longy, joined today by David Peterson here at the NCC Sports Desk for Game Day Media. Got an American Legion Triangular on hand. Game number 1 is coming to a close here soon as we are heading to the top of the 6th inning in the six-inning game as Ray leads by 6 runs, so obviously that means that Crosby will have to score 6 here in the top of the 6th to continue this game. A lot of 6s all over the place.
It's never good, right? 6 and 6 and 6.
This one is put into play, though, and it's going to be a good start here for Crosby, as picking up the leadoff single was no other than Easton Eriksmoen, the shortstop wearing number 23, gets it in play, and a base runner on here for Crosby early on in the top of the 6th.
My guess, he's going first pitch. I'd send him first pitch. Got to get this kid in scoring position, especially for Damon Bowling coming up. He's leading the team, if not tied for first or second in the lead in batting average. As Evan Helty sure knows he's probably going to be going also. I'd be for sure putting him in. Little pitch out possibly. Lucas Olson, throwing a couple guys out during the season. Maybe a pitch out as he's hit and run.
Instead, it's going to start off with a hard hit ball,
a long
just
strike.
Foul from Damon Bowling.
I'd imagine it's kind of at the sense of urgency right now as Crosby's got to get the bats going. There he goes.
This one going to be hit foul again, though.
Same spot.
A couple of times here, Eric Smolen's been trying to take off for second, but his teammate Bowling's not really giving him a chance here as he's fouling them off. But if he's able to straighten this out just a little bit, it'll probably be in a pretty good spot. Heldy now delivers again, and this one's going to be way up high and almost kind of looks like a pitch out there.
Yeah.
And Eric Smolen, though, going to be in there safely as he's able to beat the throw from Olson. And so runner now stands at second, and a 1-2 count here to Bowling.
maybe pushing a drag bunt down the first baseline, or get that third baseman covering up tight here, get in the way.
Hard hit ball at Hartsock, collects though, and over the head of Braden Johnson, an errant throw there, which is pretty rare there from the fairly veteran shortstop for the Jays, Hartsock, as Bowling will be safely into second after reaching his first bag, and the overthrow finds himself at second, and Eric Simone scored for another Ace Hardware run, moving our score to 11-5 or 6 on our Tioga Medical Center scoreboard. My book, I just have 5. I think it's 11-5. Little pop out there from Peyton Costed, and that's going to be out number 1, taken care of by the Ray Post 9 Jays as they try to work their way to a win here. It was the pitcher Heldy taking care of it himself right there. Up next, going to be number 17, Marcus Shaw, the left fielder who has entered the game for Landon Hubble, who had pitched earlier in this one. Runner on second is Bowling. This one hit hard at the third baseman Donnelly. Throws across to first. Now he's going to take off for third, and that one bounces in there, and the play is not made there as the throw took maybe just a little bit too long from Braden Johnson to get there. But Ray does get the force out over at first, and that's going to make it 2 outs here, and now just 1 away from ending this thing right here.
Good base running by Damon Bowling. You know, as the throw was coming out of Garrett Donnelly's hand, he's able to get over. Another hot shot over towards the left side of the.
Yeah, and that was Kyle Knutson, or excuse me, Peyton Hanisch, who put that one into play for a RBI single as he drove in Bowling for another Ace Hardware run, makes our score now at 11-6 in the top of the 6th inning. So Crosby is still 5 runs away from extending this game and making Ray go to the plate again. But here's a little pop-up in the infield and a good chance for Ray to end it right here. And it's Hartsock in there to make the grab. Nearly dropped it. But in the end, he is able to come down with it from Knutson. And that's the 3rd out here in the top of the 6th. And that's going to do it for game number 1 here in the Triangular. We'll take a quick break and come back with some stats for you. Once again, I'm Carter Longy, David Peterson, right here on Game Day Media.
Born and raised amidst the small-town love of Northwest North Dakota, we at Northwest Communications Cooperative understand the joy of being part of a great community. That's why we choose to pour back into the people who pour into us. At NCC, we offer internet, telephone, video, and security services that are industry standard, top of the line. Based in Ray, North Dakota, we consider Northwest North Dakota our neighborhood. Let us know how we can serve you. Local, fast, reliable. Making connections, locally committed.
Inspired by a dream. That dream is now a reality. Our goal at Game Day Media is to provide a new way of watching high school sporting events in Northwest North Dakota through live audio, video streaming services. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch and listen to all the action. We are looking for business sponsors to come on board with Game Day Media to help promote your business as we help to promote our area athletes during our broadcasts. Contact David or Randy Peterson for further details on how you can become a sponsor on Game Day Media. Game Day Media, more than a game. Since 1961, Tioga Medical Center has been providing quality health care to Northwest North Dakota patients. With a newly built clinic in Tioga, where primary care providers along with visiting specialists are caring for patients every day. Primary care clinics in Ray and Powers Lake also. Call for an appointment today at 701-664-3368. Tioga Medical Center. Great staff making a difference in the lives of patients every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Glenn E. Severson Memorial Field here in Ray, North Dakota. We just wrapped up game number 1 of this American Legion Triangular here in Ray for this evening, and now we're going to move into game number 2. Coming up, it's going to be the Tioga Post 139 Patriots taking on the Crosby Post 75 Cubs. But first, let's take a look at what happened there between the Cubs and the Ray Post 9 Jays. It was the Jays coming away with the victory in this one by a final score of 11-6 over the Cubs. The Jays had the bats going pretty well there, especially starting off with that big third inning. That third inning, they picked up 6 runs, including 6 hits, and their final totals there ended up with 11 hits and 2 errors in the field. As for Crosby, they also hit the ball well for the most part during the night. They just couldn't get quite as many guys to cross home plate as rated. They also put 8 hits up on the board. That resulted in, again, 6 runs, but they made 3 errors in the field, which probably helped contribute to Ray scoring a few more runs as well. Taking a look at some of the individual stats, the winning pitcher tonight was Evan Heldy for the Ray Post 9 Jays. He went 6 innings, gave up 8 hits. 6 runs were scored, of course, by Crosby. We don't have earned runs calculated, but I have to imagine that they probably weren't all earned. As, again, there was 2 errors in the field there by Ray. He walked 5 batters while striking out 2, so obviously maybe not the most surgical performance by Evan Heldy, but he threw strikes all night long and let his defense back him up. And obviously, with the way that Ray performed on offense tonight, it was enough to help them pick up the win against the Crosby Cubs. The starting pitcher for the Cubs picking up the loss tonight was Landon Hubble. He went 4 innings, gave up 9 hits and 9 runs. He walked 3 batters while striking out 3, and so again, he picks up the loss in tonight's matchup. The best offensive performance and maybe a little bit of a player of the game type of award going to the Ray Post 9 Jays is going to go to Luke Olson. Probably had the most impressive individual performance tonight. He went 3 for 4 at the plate. He struck out in the 3rd inning, but other than that, picked up 2 singles and a double tonight for the Ray Post 9 Jays. And all 3 of those times that he reached base with the 2 singles and the double, he also came around and scored 3 Ace Hardware runs for Ray Post 9. So good showing there from Post 9. They're going to play again in our final game of the night against the Patriots from Tioga, but they get a little bit of a break. As for Crosby, they're going to try and bounce back in this next game as Tioga will take the field for the first time tonight, and we'll get you a preview of that game and all that good stuff here coming up soon. But for now, we'll step away for a few minutes, and we'll catch you back here for Game 2 right here on Game Day Media.